Hi everyone, this is Amber Patterson of Colorado Christian University. From milestone to milestone, after the country of Brazil. Brazil is a large country in South America and it is a growing country. It is benefiting from a growing middle class and well-developed agricultural, mining, manufacturing, and service sectors. Before the global crisis, Brazil was doing very well. It had built up foreign reserves, reduced its debt profile, and became a net creditor. After the crisis, Brazil became one of the first emerging economies to begin a recovery. GDP growth reached 7.5% in 2010, and unemployment hit an all-time low of 4.8% in 2014. Then there's a new recession. Brazil's GDP is declining, a drop in CPI, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it goes along with the other indicators. And unemployment rose to 12.6% from 2015 to 2016. One of the major challenges currently is the existence of corrupt leaders and an unstable government. The picture you see here is the previous president, Dilma. She was impeached. They found out that actually she had lied about the budget, and she spent extravagantly and on pensions and unproductive tax rates. Before Brazil became a democracy, it was under military control, and before that, dictatorship. 1989 was the first time Brazilians were able to pick their own president, and the current government is the Federal Presidential Republic. It consists of 26 states in the federal district. Like the United States, it has a central bank. The primary objective is the purchasing power stability and soundness of financial system. It shares a role of regulation with the Brazilian Securities Commission, and the bank's monetary policy committee is responsible for monetary policy. Brazil is a moderately free market economy with a high emphasis on the exportation of goods, but there's a few challenges going on. Brazil and Uruguay are currently in a boundary dispute. There is a huge issue with smuggling of firearms and narcotics. Brazil is the second largest consumer of country in the world, and as I mentioned before, government corruption. Current issues affecting business on the left-hand side are regulatory issues. These hazards include outdated labor regulations that emasculate employment growth. Employment costs are remarkably high, which obstructs business development and job growth. And bureaucracy is a huge issue in its infrastructure. Brazil also has a high reputation for consuming tax procedures, and the codes are inconsistent across the board. Trade in Brazil, there are a lot of imports and exports. Brazil does a great job of trade. The top exports, as you see, are mineral fuels, oils, and distillation products, and the top country is European Union. And the exports, iron ore, and the top country is China. If you look on the left-hand side, I've listed Brazil and the United States because I thought it was a good comparison. Brazil's trade equals 27% of GDP, and the United States equals 28% of GDP in 2015, and it's broken it down by imports and exports. Mercosur is the negotiator for Brazil is part of the four that they negotiate for. But Brazil is actually wanting to do their own bilateral free trade deals, and the European nation is actually negotiating a trade agreement on behalf of Mercosur. The trade balance for Brazil had a positive trade balance in 2014 of $124 million, and just to get a little comparison, in 1995 it had a negative trade balance of $14.26 billion. Causes of poverty and lack of economic development is problems in leadership, drug use among the population, uneducated and illiterate people, and starting and running a business is difficult. Economic policies and recommendations for me, I would encourage immigration of college school workers. That has worked for Brazil in the past. I would improve education because Brazilians, they are not highly educated, and they're not enforcing children to get an education. I would also reduce the tax burden and eliminate the complex tax system, making it much simpler, lessen burdens related to entrepreneurial activities, and improve access to health care. Lastly, fiscal policy will be required because Brazil has to gain back trust of its people, and monetary policy is always something that I agree with over fiscal. Even the people, if you see the picture, say, we don't need to work that, we need money for I think all countries need, especially Brazil, is a good example of that. Education equals we need more schools that equals better education, increase access to healthcare equals healthier people, and business equals more employment and economic growth. Helping those in need. Because Brazil is the second country in cocaine, I think there needs to be more help for the addiction, for the housing, education, economic help, quality health care, mental programs. I think helping people into jobs and education and just really mentoring people to whatever they need done. On the right hand side, there's a meme I thought I really liked. It says, I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will preach to you. Now, from a governmental standpoint, spirituality is not always present, but I wanted to interject here because where there is chaos, there is the we can really use the spiritual infusion into the people of Israel as well as the United States. Now, I've got the 4 pillars here, and this is what are the 4 issues, in my opinion, in Brazil, and I've listed as government, education, tax, and business, and I've got a foundation in spirituality. Brazil's economic deficiencies are rooted in one of these areas, and to improve and sustain economic growth, regulatory changes must take place in each of these areas that do a collaborative effort. 1 Corinthians 3:11 says, "For no one can lay any foundation other than the already known, which is Jesus." In conclusion, Matthew 6:33 says that seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. I wish we could really make that the pillar of what we try to achieve with these countries, but that is not exactly what we get to do. So, but from a Christian standpoint, we at least know that God. I use the example of God made us in our mother's womb. Isn't this amazing? Just like He has a plan for people, He has a plan for nations. A group of people put together, and it is our job to participate in the execution of God's plan. Brazil has fought hard to become a part of the global economy and has been subject to global issues. In order to survive internal issues and global economy crisis, because these things have cycle, Brazil has to strengthen where it is weak. Brazil's strengths include trade and its historical economic growth. However, Brazil has taken some hardships with government corruption and with its outdated infrastructure that discourages business and perpetuates poverty. Brazil must be diligent about correcting these issues